We are meeting on the last day of April 2026. We're gonna start off with Benny. What do you had in, oh, come on over, run on over, girl. You can lead us in that pledge before we cast. During the pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And of the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Our inspiration, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna do something today from Emerson, one of my favorite poets from Emerson. I woke up this morning and thought, I'm gonna do something around seizing the day. Do not seize the day. This will startle the day and may cause it to become aggressive and give you a nasty bite. Instead, approach the day calmly without making eye contact. Head it gently and slowly unfold it in a careful embrace. If the day shows any signs of resistance to being engaged with, it's likely to turn on you. Back off and return to bed.
Actually. I see that we've got Ellen. Ellen go out online. Hello, Ellen back there behind me. And of course, Judy's online. So it's nice to see some faces. Haven't seen for a while. And we also have Dawn is here and Michelle is here. So some of our new members who are joining us shortly are here. Yeah. Yeah, it takes me a while. I'm not sure about. Is there a?
Oh, that's back there. Yeah.
Oh, the volume's over there, so there you go. So anyway, so we have some people that are busy. I mean, we're through it, those things here, nice full house, that's what we like to see. We stole our card, so thank you, Pat, for ahead of the game there. So we actually, I'm kind of looking forward to this today for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's kind of like a holy day. We have just people here from our Rotary Club that are going to be talking a little bit about themselves, and that's really nice, especially for people who are new to the club to kind of get to know some of the members that have been here for a while. So that's good. I have a couple announcements. I have tonight's our social, and that's low key. Just show up between 5 and 7 at the weekend brewery. They said they'd be ready for us, so we just need to be there and. There should be 2 food trucks there tonight. I know that Valentino should be there, and he told me the name of the other one. I think it's Hawaiian. I don't know. Anyway, so I went there the other night, and there was one, and there was a new fish one that I had seen before, but that's not going to be open tonight. So she said that was the Aloha, whatever one they have. Give me the name, but I can't. Anyway, so there'll be 2 food trucks, and you're welcome to get dinner. Afterwards, it's the hearth. So those of you who enjoy going to the hearth, that's tonight. Right afterwards, they open the doors at 6:30, so you can have dinner, join and socialize with the club, and then go right over to the hearth. So
I'm gone now.
Hi there. Oh, hello, Claudia. Who's talking to me? Oh, hello, Deb. I guess we're now used to difficulties. Anyway, so we have that going on tonight. On Saturday, we have some cleanup going on. And I talked to the city, because we're just doing the 2 city places. They do not give us picker-uppers. So if you have a picker-upper at home that you want to use, you don't want to bend over to pick up trash, then you need to bring it.
Didn't we have phone?
I don't know, though. We also, we got it from,
We
we have Best. So we've always done it through the ODOT. And so we were doing the parkway. And this time we got city streets. I want to make sure that we have enough people for the city streets. So we're doing D Street downtown. And then we're also doing out on Fairview behind Winco. And I know that's plenty dirty. So we're doing those 2 places. I've got some people signed up to beat me on D Street. If you go into D Street, there's a parking lot, the old jury parking lot. It's on the corner of, I think, 5th and D, right across from the bus station. There's an empty parking lot there, so that would be the place to meet around nine-ish. And then if you're going to behind Winco on Fairview, behind Winco, there's some empty parking back there. So I figured we'd start there and go off from there. So I'm gonna send this around to remind you where you signed up and where the parking is. If anybody else wants to join us, we'd love to have more people. It'll probably go from 9 to 11. I don't imagine it'll be, the more the merrier, the less time it takes to clean up. And I actually walked them and they look cleaner than I remember seeing them. So maybe that's my imagination. But anyway, so I'm gonna send this around if anybody else would sign up. And I think tonight you just need to come to the store. We've got some people signed up, so it's at 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna sign this around if anybody else wants to sign up for the cleanup, and the information is there. Like I said, there's no picker-uppers. Those did come from ODOT. So ODOT is the one that provides those, but they do provide vests, and they do provide gloves, and they do provide bags. So I will have those, and I probably will go first to the 9 o'clock group and then swing by the Fairview place. So that's my plan on Saturday. I've got your phone numbers if you signed up, and I can get that more information. So I also have a brief introduction. I've been being continually harassed by the district because they would like to have more people go to the district conference in Valley River Center in Eugene. And really, they've got some pretty amazing speakers. So if you are a person who wants to go learn more about Rotary, and they've got some speakers, it's on Saturday and Sunday, the 16th and 17th of May. So they sent me a video, and so I'm going to present that from Chris, I believe, and it's going to tell you just a little bit about the district conference up in Eugene. I got you excited about the possibility. So I will actually be up there, but I can't get there till Saturday afternoon because I have a previous engagement, but I will be up there. So anyway, that's good. I know that there's lots of good things happening. So anyway, so there we go. That's our introductions. I don't know if anybody else had any introductions that they needed to share. If not, I'm going to turn it over to Greg, who's going to start us off with our homey Rotary. Get comfortable and learn about your Rotary.
Thank you. And as I asked our speakers today to come forward, we're looking for the expert minds. If you have that. Oh, thank you very much. Just give it to Doug. There it is. All right, Doug, if you come up, we appreciate you being willing to speak along with Brenda and Tommy. If the three of you would come on up to this table.
Table?
Yes, please.
Go on. Make up your mind, all right? I get to be in the middle.
Yes.
Right. I get to see lovely ladies. Just saying.
Each of these members of our club are excellent persons to talk to. If you're new and wanting to know some of the history of the club, talk to them after today's meetings. Call them in the middle of the night. If you couldn't sleep, and they'll chat with you. The first question, and Doug, Tommy, you have the mic. Why don't
Okay,
you
Tommy.
begin?
Yes, you took it.
And just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you and your family are friends as you wish, and how you came to Grants Pass.
You should go first. I wasn't paying attention, say it again.
Okay, so both of you clearly have not prepared. Okay, Brenda will go first. So now, how you came to Grants Pass and a little bit about family, friends, or yourself.
Combined question.
Okay, so the way we came to Grants Pass, Bev and I were dating and getting serious, and we wanted to leave the San Francisco area, which is where we were living. And we were traveling to Spokane, where she had a number of family members, and we stopped here in Grants Pass, because I had an aunt and uncle lived here. And then we enjoyed ourselves for that day or two, and then we went on to Spokane, and sort of the way things play out is kind of serendipitous. But Spokane had this is springtime, April, May, Spokane had just gotten done with the day before a really bad ice storm. And so it was 45, 50 degrees. The moment we go into the valley, traffic jam, trees down everywhere, all the cleanup from the ice storm. Everybody's running around in shorts like it's lovely. And we're coming out of San Francisco where it's 70 degrees in the springtime. We get there and it's like, oh, this is far away. It took us 3 days to get here and not so great. So we really liked Grants Pass. We came back, we stayed another 4 or 5 days at my aunt and uncle's house, explored, really liked it. And then about a year later, 2 years later, we got married and moved up there.
Thank you, thank you. I think Tommy's ready, thank you.
Well, we moved up here because there was 2 rainbows over Medford when we drove through. And that seemed like we should stop. And we lived in Medford for a year and then we came up here with my son, we all met. And bought a house in Hugo. And that's pretty much how we got here. And we came to Hugo versus staying in Medford. Because I'm an ocean person and I needed to be able to get there and you can get there quicker from here than you can from Medford.
Okay, very good. Very good. Brenda?
Well, I'm gonna keep this short because I prepared for the service.
She's got a lot.
Anyway, how I got to Grants Pass, I came to Grants Pass from the Illinois Valley, but I think of my arrival started when I came to the Illinois Valley. And the Great Mystery brought me, and it was just magical, crazy, and it's been a long, wonderful trip.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, the next question is sort of the core of the discussion is Rotary's about serving. And what stirred or who stirred your heart to serve others? And at least one thing that you've done in Rotary service.
Well, I guess I have to give credit to Phil Hart. Because he's the one that he and Roger Harding asked me to join Rotary as a charter member of this club. And at the time, women hadn't even been in Rotary very long. And Rotary was an old man's club, rich old men having lunch together, talking about who knows what. So when they asked me, I said, you gotta be nuts. I'm not a Rotarian. And they said, oh, yes, you are. And they said, and we want to change the face of Rotary. And we want your face to be a part of Rotary. So I thought, well, after they showed me the four-way test and the object of Rotary, I thought, well, this is a no-brainer. I'll hang out with people that make these agreements and are focused on these things. So, I joined Rotary, and that was, what, 34 years ago? Well, we had our first meeting in February of '92, and I think, Debbie's here, she was one of those original members, Steve was one of those original members, and I think I'm the only other one. When we lost Mike, he was one, and Gary, those of you that can Gary imagine, he was one. But anyway, Rotary's been wonderful. And now that I'm older, I don't do near as much with Rotary. But first of all, I want to say to all of you new ones, go to the district conference. It is so cool. It's really wonderful. You meet, I mean, you've got hundreds more Rotarians there, and Rotarians everywhere are amazing and doing amazing things and having fun. So I urge you all to do that. I was on the board for I don't know how many years straight. I was secretary for 3 years, treasurer for 7 years, president.
And you've had influence on women joining this club.
You know what? It was and I was just asked to be a leader. I'm an elder, and I'm having to take that elder road. But that leads me to my greatest service is the one that I was acknowledged for 4 years ago with Louis Schultz Volunteer Award. And when I asked why I was being awarded it, because I mean, anybody in this club is deserving of an award like this, because we're in service. We're finding the joy in being in Rotary. So
That's great. We can move it within the interest of time.
all right, great. Well, but and if we have any more time, I want to pitch my latest and greatest ethics journey in the world of service. So
Well, let's see
stay
what-
tuned.
We'll see what Doug has.
Okay, so, I think the question was Rotary, why, how, why? So I was volunteering with the library back when the library closed down, when the county closed the library down, when we tried to reopen it as a nonprofit, and I was sort of told to go join Rotary, so the library had representation at Rotary, and in the beginning it was, I'm here because I'm being told to be here and trying to find opportunity for the library. And then I began to realize how fantastic Rotary is, so I am Rotary through and through now, because of all of the things we do and all of you. And then one of the questions, it was what in Rotary is the meaningful service? Okay, so one example I'll give for Rotary is, I gotta try not to get teary-eyed, but pinch me on. So we do the speech contest where we send high school students to district. So we had our own contestant from Illinois, or from North Valley, and she was like third runner-up for our area. The first two couldn't make it, so she went to represent our area. And then I'm at the district conference and I'm witnessing this whole thing. I'm not involved at all. So she gets up and gives her speech, and she's one of the finalists. So at conference, the final three will give their speeches in front of everybody. And they will be graded, and that's how the final three are chosen. The first 20, they kind of get a speech off to the side at an early time. So she comes up and she is doing great. She's got fantastic content. She's got, some serious things that she's gone through her life, and she's describing them, and she's winning this thing. She's doing fantastic. She's 2/3 through her speech, and she locks up and freezes. Just completely locks up and freezes.
The pinch.
Yeah. That didn't work. Okay, so she just starts crying and she runs off stage. And now to her, this is just monumental catastrophe to this 17-year-old, whatever age, but I don't know. But to all of us that have been through enough life, we realize you're gonna get over this, not a big deal. Let's work through it. So she's gone. At some point, they find her, she's in the bathroom hiding, and some people find her and they talk her down, and then eventually they convince her to finish her speech. Finish her speech during dinner or something like that. Yeah, she does. She was great. She didn't win because she couldn't. She got third prize. But what Rotary does is it gives those students an opportunity. It gives those students an opportunity, to open their wings and try to fly. And a soft landing wouldn't crash. And that's really beautiful to me. Thank you.
So the question is, why did I join Rotary?
And how, and how did you get into service?
I got into service because of my dad. My dad was a Mason, that's about service. My dad was in a Rotary Club. The old men actually met at dinner time at that point, so they could drink like hell. And he'd come home and everybody smoked inside of wherever they were at that point. So he'd come home and he'd hang his clothes out on the deck. So we could all tell that was a Rotary night. But we grew up going to all of these things and it just became part of who I am. That we're supposed to help other people and do well, and I love helping with Mint right now, and there's been lots of other projects that I've worked with. The kids, of course, are key to me, and I love the backpack and the shoes that fit programs and stuff, so that's kind of how I got here.
Thank you. Thank you. And Brenda, you wanted to add something else?
How much time?
Actually, these stories just bring up some, we need to have everybody sitting in our rocking chairs, smoking our pipe. Anyway, my life of service has been wrapped around youth a lot, and I was involved with the Rotary Youth at the district level for probably 15 years. I went to Riley Camp for 11 years, the whole camp, and I was at that district conference where Samantha was her name, and where she bombed out, and I was in the bathroom when Bubbles has been mentioned by other kids that have come from Riley Camp. Amazing woman, crazy woman. She went in there and she said, "If you don't come out of there, I'm gonna climb over the stall." So Samantha came out and Bubbles had a talk with her. Bubbles was the one, the kids that came to Ryla that were lonesome right off and would start crying. She was the one that took those kids, and they cried when they had to leave. But anyway, I have been involved with the youth on many different levels, and I've been involved with forestry. I've had a forest for 35 years that we've managed and gotten awards. And I've done a lot of my service through Table Rock Foundation, which is a nonprofit my friend Phil Hart and I put together, because we were concerned that we wanted to connect with caring people around the globe and teaching cultural and environmental practices. We felt that if we taught our future generations a service above self and caring for the environment, we would improve the quality of life for all. So that was kind of our purpose. We brought indigenous culture back into the community with Grandma Aggie, who came into my life just right about the same time a Rotary came into my life. And we spent a lot of time doing that. But then, not long before Phil died, I decided to start having youth camps and have had a lot of those. And this is what I received the Louis Schultz Award for. So I realized I was doing something that really did mean something. I wasn't aware that it would have that much meaning in the community, but I realized this is something that has been beneficial, and I wanted a way for it to continue when I'm no longer here, because I'm going to be 85 next month. I'm hoping for another 15 years. But in the meantime, I decided I wanted Table Rock Foundation to grows. When Phil died in, 2011. Just a few days after my 70th birthday, we had a birthday party and anyway, I just pretty much ran Table Rock Foundation by myself at these camps. But, and I love the property that I have. We have used to be up to 375 acres of forest land that I've managed for years. And, it's kind of magical. It's a magical place to bring kids because they find themselves. And when you start teaching them things that they can do to take care of the forest and natural resources, it gives them a purpose. And we did some on-ramp camps for 5 years where we were taking youth 16 to 24, teaching them forestry and natural resource management and certifying them in the different things that they mastered. And they've gone off to get work. And a lot of them are working with fires. They have gone from being potential street people, homeless, to becoming heroes in our community, making a good living. So I want this to continue. And I'm creating my forest now as a legacy forest, which is a forest in balance and a forest that
It probably is good on renewing the air if it's a legacy forest. The full, cause it, yeah, that just is not trees, but it's.
absolutely, well, and it's a forest in balance.
Yes,
And what happened is when we had we've had a lot of that fir dying off at a higher rate than it's ever died off before, and it took quite a few in the 4 trees in my forest. And this young man that helps me in the forest said, I know you hate to hear this, but we've lost a lot of that fir out there, and if you don't take them out now, if you don't use them, you'll lose them. And I also realized that we actually were where firefighters were able to stop the Taylor Creek fire in 2018 when it burned up to our property line, and they were able to stop it at our property line and said, you need to be, whatever you're doing, you need to teach this. So take young people.
I want to thank each of you for speaking. And I do want to encourage people here who haven't been at this mic yet to make a time to come up. I would say the easiest is to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Next easiest is an inspirational afterwards. And then the opportunity to come up and do the Sergeant of Arms. And I'll just say, when I did that, I was nervous about it. And someone said, all you do is look up quotes of what happened that day in history. And you just tell us what those are. And come with about a half dozen, and you'll have about a minute to choose your favorite. So it's quite easy. Encourage public speaking. Simple ways to get into it for each of you. Thank you both. Thank you all. Okay. And Mia Marie, would you come up?
Got the mic over and I'm done.
First. Purple.
That's.
Now I'll use that one. I'll grab that later for.
Should you go right to the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sorry to be on that great vocational. I was asked to share some information about finances because it can be confusing. And I've done a bit of this presentation before, so some of you will have seen this, but we have a lot of new members I know, and even for folks who've been around, it's confusing still. So it's a good refresher for everyone. So,
I'm trying to find the slideshow mode. I think you might be hiding behind.
all right. So we're gonna start with the piece that I've shared not too long ago, which is where you send your money, because this is where it gets the most confusing for people in knowing the difference between the 3 buckets of money that we have. So there's the Rotary Club, And that is our club operations, the accounts for how we run our club. And any money that's coming to the Road Gateway Rotary Club is not tax deductible. We're not a tax deductible organization. Okay. The second piece is the RG Rotary Foundation. That is our club's foundation. And any donations that you make there are tax deductible. And we'll explain why this is important later. And then there's also the Rotary Foundation, which is the foundation of Rotary International. It's also known as TRF a lot of times. And money that goes there is also tax deductible. So the money that comes to the club is your dues that you pay, happy bucks. Pledges are additional donations. Some members donate above and beyond what we charge for dues. We have our 50-50 drawing. We get money from the district for district grants. And we're going to talk a little bit more about we get transfers from the RG Foundation. So we kind of have a partnership between our club and our foundation. The RG Rotary Foundation's income or money comes from donations for our various club projects and causes, much of which comes from club members, but we also have outside community members that will give some of our causes as well. And then of course, Porsche Fest is our, big club fundraiser, and all that money goes into the foundation. And then the Rotary Foundation, this is where money is donated for larger scale Rotary projects and causes. So all of the different things that Rotary International is about, the things that Polio Plus and all those kinds of things that you want to contribute, that goes to the Rotary Foundation. Okay, so if we just look at our club for a minute, the money that is spent on that goes to international and district dues. We've got some kind of administrative fees. We do fellowship events. We pay for guest lunches. The money that came from, I told you we transfer from the RG Rotary Foundation, is where we get the money for doing our youth programs, some of our club service projects, and also some international projects. And then we give the money that we collect for Polio Plus, which is our 50-50 drawing, we give that to the Rotary Foundation. So that's kind of where everything, high level view of where everything goes from the club. The RG Rotary Foundation, we've already discussed, gives money to the club for our youth programs and club projects, but they also give money to the nonprofit beneficiaries of Porsche Fest. We do kind of one-off projects sometimes, like the utility box art project is something that the foundation has helped to fund. And then we've had other focused causes over the years. So in the past, we've done things like wildfire, collect money for wildfire relief, or support for Ukraine when the war first broke out. So there are ways that we can sort of leverage the foundation to sort of gather donations from our club, but also from outside of the community to impact other causes other than the projects we do here in our club. And then the Rotary Foundation, why you would want to give to the Rotary Foundation. There's a bunch of different buckets of money within the Rotary Foundation. And so the first one that's kind of hidden under there is the annual fund share program. And we talk a lot about this when we talk about every Rotarian every year and our encouragement for folks to donate to that fund specifically. And it's because that money comes back, half of that money comes back to our district and is how we fund district grants. So when our club applies for a district grant to get matching funds, it's really coming from the donations that we gave to the annual fund 3 years ago. So they hold the money, they invest it, that earned interest is used for their admin price costs, and then all the money that we donated, half of that comes back to our district. So whatever we're donating this year, we're going to get half of it back in 3 years and be eligible to apply for grants. But you can also donate to the Polio Plus Fund. You can donate to individual global grants. If another club somewhere in the world is doing a project that you're really passionate about, you can actually donate directly to that project. Rotary International or the Rotary Foundation has a disaster response fund. If that's something that you're passionate about, you can always donate to their endowment. Or if there's a particular area of focus. So Rotary has 7 areas of focus. If you're particularly passionate about peace, and want to support the Peace Fellowship program, you can donate directly to that. If you, like John, are really passionate about water and want to make sure that we're, supporting projects that provide water in third world countries, you can donate to that area of service. So there's a lot of different ways to direct your donation to the Rotary Foundation. But the other thing that we talk about sometimes is Paul Harris Fellow Awards. And that is an award, a recognition that you can get for donating up to at least $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. But it is specific to those top 3 funds, so the annual fund, Polio Plus, or a global grant project. So any money that you donate to those counts towards your Paul Harris Fellowship. Talking a lot, so are there any questions? Yes.
The best presentation I've ever seen on how the money flows and how.
Yeah.
All these people.
All right, yes.
So anything you give to the Rotary Foundation goes towards your Paul Harris.
Most anything. Yeah, I think the last I had looked, unless it's changed, but the last I had looked at specifically donations to the annual fund, Polio Plus, or to specific global grant projects, those things count towards Paul Harris fellowships. I don't think donations to the disaster response fund or the endowment. There are other kinds of recognition that what the Rotary Foundation gives for some of those donations, but Paul Harris specifically, I think they're really trying to drive people towards the annual fund and Polio Plus. Okay, so this is the slide that I think most people want. And don't worry about taking a picture of this. I've saved an image. I'm gonna send it to Steve, so maybe we can put it in the navigator. But this is some clarification on when you're writing a check and you're trying to figure out who am I writing the check to and who do I give the check to. It depends on what you're writing the check for. So if it's coming to the club, it's Get Your Rotary, and I'm the club treasurer, and so you can either find me at a club meeting or send it to PO Box 14. If you were making a donation to the RG Rotary Foundation, that's how you would address the check, RG Rotary Foundation. And Jan Jones, raise your hand, is our treasurer for the foundation. And so you can either give it to her at a meeting or you can mail it to PO Box 176. And then the Rotary Foundation, if you're wanting to make a donation there, obviously the Rotary Foundation or TRF, I would highly encourage you to make that donation online directly at Rotary. But if you prefer to write a check and you're not sure how to get it there, you can get it to me and I'll help you process that through. So I'm gonna do pop quiz. Ready? All right. If you are wanting to write a check to make a donation for our backpack project, where should you send it? How should you? Good job. Good. So if you want to make a donation to a specific project, even the project that our club is doing, you can, if you write the check to the RG Foundation, RG Rotary Foundation, it's a tax deductible donation for you. So that's where you want to make that donation, right? What about if you want to donate to Polio Plus? The Rotary Foundation. And if you want to, you can give me the check and I'll help make sure it gets to the right place. Okay, so are there any questions about the bucket? Yeah.
If you're getting money, oh, sorry. If you're getting money for or making a donation to, for Porch Fest, you can write a check to Porch Fest. You don't have to worry about that long name or RG Rotary Foundation, just Porch Fest. Yes.
Is there any reason that you would make a donation to a Rotary instead of the foundation?
No, not necessarily. So, so money that the money that's going to come to the club specifically is going to be your dues, right? Happy Bucks we collect, that comes directly to our club. Those kinds of things. But if you're wanting to make a donation for a project, even for something specific for our club, I would always recommend doing the RG Rotary Foundation because it's tax deductible. Now, a lot of people don't. A lot of people do write the check to the club and we'll take it and it will be used for what you wanted to, but you're just not going to get a tax deduction for it. Yep.
If you use PayPal, say more.
Yeah. So PayPal is another way that you can make a payment to the club. Okay. So we have a PayPal account. There's a link, usually I think there might be the link in the navigator. There's some other ways, and I think we're going to try to have it on the table. I created something with a QR code. So if you're trying to pay Happy Bucks and you don't have cash, because I mean, but I don't always have cash, you know, you can use the QR code and pay through PayPal. Again, that's coming to the club, it's not tax deductible. So if you're trying to, if you use PayPal to give for one of our projects, that's not going to be tax deductible. And please do not make a donation to something like Polio Plus or something that's gonna go to the foundation to our PayPal account, because then it's just complicated for me to try to pull it out of the club and get it to the right place, so.
I was just gonna do one more thing on the RG Rotary Foundation. The reason I really love this is that say if you are going to donate to the backpack project or shoes to fit or something like that, but for the ones that I've been involved with, you know, you make sure that you address the fact that it's going to shoes that fit or backpack project. If I don't use all of the money that has been collected, when it sits in RG Rotary Foundation, I have it available for the next year.
Yeah.
If it goes to Rope Gateway, bye-bye. So it's just really important for the funding of those projects, that at least the ones that I deal with, to go to RG Rotary.
Yeah, I'm Jim LaFever, for those that don't know you and or know me. Today, no. Anyway, I am the Rotary Foundation Chair for our club. If any of you have any, need any help or anything, or have some questions, you know, call me, knock on my door. I'll come to your home if you want help in figuring out how to get to the Rotary Foundation online. I found that it's easiest for me to do my donations directly online to the Rotary Foundation. Now, this can be a little bit difficult because they're going to ask you a question like, what is your member number? You might not know. Well, I know. You can call me and I'll tell you your member number. It's important if you do this that you know your member number so that our club gets your contribution tax for our club. If you just throw money at the foundation, we don't put in the right information, sometimes it'll get lost. And that happened with a couple of people last year. So look me up if you need help.
Could you tell me very briefly what Polio Plus is all about? I have some idea.
Absolutely. So Polio Plus Fund is one of the major projects of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. I think it was started sometime in the 80s. A group of clubs internationally had this audacious idea that they can eliminate polio from the world, which at that time was crazy because it was everywhere in the world and there were so many cases everywhere. But we've been saying this for a while now, but we're this close to having eradicated. I think there's only 2 or 3 countries left that still have endemic cases, 3 I'm seeing. And it's pretty small numbers, but it's starting to climb back up again. So, you know, it's something that we need to continue to support. And so they fund vaccination programs and clinics where we send volunteers out into these countries that still have an endemic and make sure that everybody in the population gets vaccinated, all of the children get vaccinated in that community. I know Margaret Bradford has been on one of those vaccination trips. And so that's something else that you can get involved in is to actually volunteer and go do those things. And we have a great partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where they're matching every donation that the Rotary makes to Polio Plus towards that effort. So really great way to leverage your money that way. Any other questions about the buckets?
I don't have a question, but I think the biggest thing, because I always used to get the 2 RG Foundation, the Rotary Foundation, but it is actually the Rotary Foundation, and the importance of being that every Rotarian every year is that's where we get our district grant money from. So when we want to do a district grant, like we've done the last 2 years, we've done Choose It Fit, and we've done, you know, we're doing tree planting this year. That money comes from us giving to the Road Foundation. And the project that we did, the international project that we did down in Cozumel, Mexico, that also came. So if you want to do anything internationally, or you like want to get a project locally, it's really important that you give those funds to the Rotary Foundation, the main one. And I agree, it's easiest to do it online, and you can actually just get it recurring, and they'll just take it out of the year, which is kind of nice, so that you know that you're a part of those projects.
I think who has the mic? Debbie?
So, Happy Bucks don't go to Rotary Foundation, they go to Road Gateway Rotary. If I write a check for $50 to Road Gateway Rotary Foundation and say this is for Happy Bucks, then is it tax deductible?
Yeah, so it would be for happy, I mean, it wouldn't count for happy bucks anymore. I want to be mindful of time. I was gonna talk a little bit about the club budget. I'll do a quick super overview of it because it'll answer that question and maybe it can come back and cover these last slides at another time. But Happy Bucks, well, I'll skip it. I won't do that. But Happy Bucks is one of the few sources of sort of discretionary, what's the word? Unrestricted money that our club collects. It's not, typically doesn't go towards something specific. And so it's one of the ways that we kind of have money to run the club. And so if you're wanting it to go to that specifically, then you just give to Happy Bucks and it comes to the club. If you're wanting to make your $50 donation, goes to a specific project and you want to see it's important for you to have it be tax deductible, then yeah, you want to write the check to the RG Foundation and we'll just go to that. It won't count, it won't be Happy Bucks technically anymore, but it's still welcome, so. I'll take 2 more questions and I don't wanna run into the sergeant of arms.
This came up today and you've probably been talked to about it, but, membership fees. You invoice people
I do.
twice a year?
Yep.
For, membership fees.
Yeah, we're collecting, so like I said, I'll come back, well, I'll have to talk to Val and find out in a coming meeting when there might be time for me to take like 3 minutes to talk about the budget side of things. But yeah, we do dues is collected twice a year, for our year starts, July 1st. And so we'll collect money for July through December dues. And those invoices will probably come out end of May, beginning of June, because we like to give folks time, because it takes some people a little bit longer to get their checks to me than others. And so we'll do that. And then you'll get billed again in December for the January through June dues. So that's how that works. And last one.
All right, in your answer to the question about a $50 check written for Happy Bucks, wouldn't it be possible to write it to the Road Gateway Foundation and indicate Happy Bucks or club administration and have it go to the club so that it could still be tax deductible?
No. I mean, I think part of the purpose of the tax deductible is, that it's money that you're contributing that's benefiting a nonprofit or a social good kind of a thing, not to running a club. And so it would be, in the spirit of why we are allowed to have tax deductible donations. It would also be a little bit of a logistical nightmare if you're writing a check that's going to Jan and then I've got to ask Jan to please send me the $50 because it's for the club. They're separate accounts. And so we want to try as much as possible to make sure the money goes to the organization where it's going to be used so that we're not having to pass money back and forth.
And just a second question, I didn't hear you explain how much of the dues that you write a check out for actually stay with the club. Because it looks like the club's getting a lot of money and it's getting close to a break even almost.
So when we talk the next time, and I talk, we keep about 1/3 of the dues. So about 2/3 goes to Rotary International and the district, and 1/3 stays with our club. So we'll talk more about that at the next time. All right, thank you.
And I guess if we start monitored on most of this guy. And here's Jamie.
Who's got the other mic for somebody? Oh, good, thanks, Jenny. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna tell you a secret. My secret to making a good TV commercial is I tell my clients to say something their competition isn't. Here's another one. My secret to making a good curry is I add some extra ginger garlic paste right at the very end. Here's another secret. My secret to having a really productive day is I always start with a checklist. And one more secret. My friends tell me this. The secret to a happy marriage is don't speak to your wife when she's backing up the trailer in the campground. Those are just a few of my secrets. So I've asked some of our fellow club members here to tell me their secrets. These are all gonna be really short, just like the 4 I just did. 1 sentence, 2 sentences. And we're gonna go through them really quickly because after those folks give me their secrets, I want everybody to tell me a secret as quick as you can. So these are happy bucks, so after you tell me your secret, throw down your bucks and we'll get right to the next person. So let's start at this end of the room and we'll go that way. Oh, okay, Luke has the mic, let's let Luke go. Tell us the secret.
My secret is a way that I keep up on what's going on, and a lot of it comes from the central office at the Buddhist priest. And a secret for next week is that there's going to be a perfect storm. That Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday.
That's a good secret, I didn't know that. Okay, let's go over here to Greg Smith.
So my secret is to my glorious head of white hair is 35 years of small business ownership.
Let's go to Patrice Allen.
I'm reading mine. So for my gardening friends, the secret to organic fertilizing is to think about feeding the soil microbes, not your plants, with organic matter like compost and worm castings. Your plants will be hardier and more nutrient dense.
Thank you, that's a great secret. Let's go to Greg and Margaret in the middle.
Greg and Margaret have 2 different secrets.
Yeah, well, I did that.
Don't tell him. My secret is to be careful who you tell your secrets. Because one day, my good friend James Stern, I told him something and I said, "Now don't tell anyone." He said, "Oh, you can trust me to keep a secret. It's the people I tell it to."
Very good.
Okay, mine's pretty practical. I'm not sure that it passes test number 3 or 4 because we have so many realtors and bankers, etc. But if you're in the beginning stages of buying a home, pay up extra principal as far as you can round up every month. Margaret and I paid our house off about 10 years early, just doing that.
That's a great secret. Let's go to Doug and Bev.
Okay, I got 2. So first one is, the secret to happy marriage is if the wife doesn't tell the husband how to back up the trailer when that's a really good idea. And especially not to assume just because you're back there talking, I can hear you. Gotta yell. And then the other secret is, I secretly, I think of myself as a generous person, but sometimes I'll buy something and bring it home for consumption, like chocolate covered raisins, and I hide it, so I don't want to share it. A few things like that.
Is that conducive to a happy marriage? It's a good idea.
My secret to remembering someone's name is waking up in the middle of the night when you're trying to remember it and enumerating on it for several minutes or a lot of minutes. And then just get up and look on your phone for it or wherever you have to look, and it will stick for a long time. And a lot of things like that in the middle of the night, it will stick once you get up.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, who else has a secret to tell me?
My secret is on the way to someplace when you're running late and you can't get your earrings in, if you have either chapstick or Vaseline in your purse and put it on the end of your earring, you can get your earring in real quickly.
Oh my
I know, guys, it's not great for you, but.
Excellent.
if you're a mixologist like I was for a little while and you started to run out of alcohol because you drank most of it and you have just a cacophony of weird things. As it turns out, gin and Kahlua taste exactly like celery.
This is interesting.
My secret is I am a hot dog aficionado and the best hot dog place here on Grants Pass is Jimmy's New York style hot dogs. And they're in a food truck and we're trying to get them to be be at Porch Fest. They submit it, so try to look them up. And my other one, there's my happy dog, my other one is for a nice, happy, successful marriage, you use walkie-talkies when you back up the trailer, that's. Yeah.
Well, first of all, and how many bucks for Gina Marie's fantastic presentation of such a complicated matter, making it somewhat simple. And my secret is in 2008, I was a really unhappy guy in 2008. I just got out of a really, really bad marriage in 2006, 7. And this lady changed my life and said yes. And my secret is my life since then has been so good, I could not even compare how bad it was before. That's my secret.
All right, well, John.
My secret is that I have made those cards with the QR codes for Happy Bucks. And my laminator's dead, so I'm going to buy one after this here next week.
My secret is that when I was a younger businessman, I was intimidated by the cost of being into a service club. It was intimidating, but there's 3 T's. There's treasure, there's time, and there's talent. If you don't have the treasure, you can give your time and your talent.
That's an excellent secret,
Yeah.
John.
And one other thing, I've got the leaks. Now, this isn't the old man leaks that we worry about.
That was a little personal secret.
I have several patches of wild leeks that you can put in your put in your sausage. And if any of you want that kind of leek, talk to me.
I like leeks, yeah. You got
Along with Greg, I got white hair before my parents did. And it was through the assistance of my stepson. Which now, years later, we have a great relationship.
Okay, who else? Anybody else have a secret you wanna share? No? Okay, Jody. Oh, I missed you the first time.
No, that's okay. You just
So
know
sorry.
it's me to do it. Then that's my secret. I just had I don't know that it's really a secret, but what I always felt was my secret to being a good leader when I was working was being able to lead by example and never asking people to do things I wouldn't do myself.
Yes, excellent. Debbie Brownell.
So I just got out of mock interviews at the high school and wonderful experience. Everybody should try and do that. But so I get to give advice. And one of the things I tell people, they've just come off of going through the Briggs-Meyer aptitude personality test. And I tell them, that's just where you are at this moment. And you can make the choice to change. And I think about my life, and I used to be very shy and retiring. And somebody told me just this last week, oh, yeah, but you talk all the time. You can have no problems with this. Well, I used to.
All right, anybody else? Okay, everybody who shared a secret, thank you so much. Please make sure you throw a couple of bucks on the table so it goes into Gina Marie's appropriate pot there. And then we'll give it back to President Bell. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was absolutely wonderful. It's very good.
Secret, the only secret I ever had, and this is just with working with kids all the time and my grandchildren who are always afraid of making friends. And that is always ask somebody about something, as soon as you can find something in common, ask them about themselves, because everybody likes to talk about themselves. And if you can make that and remember that, that's your bridge to making good friendships. So thank you all for being here. It was actually, right here. Thank you. I don't have special guests to ask to draw the cards. So here, I'm gonna go.
I know. It's not mine.
Love the free, of course. Yes, 9. Who's got it? So that goes into our pockets. All right, oh gosh, that goes to Polio Plus, right? I'm just trying to make sure. So that's our Polio Plus donation on a weekly basis, 26. Congratulations, John. And with that, quote for today, our AI quote is: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others. And service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. And that is from Muhammad Ali. So I thought that was a good book. So have a great week and we'll see you next Thursday. And hopefully some of you will see us Saturday and some of you will see tonight in our social. So hopefully see you soon. Thanks.